What do you think of when you hear the word alcoholism? A bum on the side of the road clutching a paper bag? A person who has trouble controlling their emotions and very often lashes out? Both of these images could be correct, but it may be the person that you would least expect. Alcoholism can become anyone's problem. During this presentation, I'm going to define alcoholism for you, the serious negative impacts it has on society, and finally I'll share a few choices you can make in order to keep alcohol from becoming a problem. It's commonly thought that frat boys in college who drink a huge amount of alcohol during one night of partying are just really good at handling their beer, but they could also be a prime example of alcoholism. The HealthWatch website defines alcoholism as a disorder characterized by excessive use of alcoholic beverages with an emotional and physical dependence on them, increased tolerance of the alcohol's effect over time, and withdrawal symptoms if that person stops drinking. According to HealthWatch, there are several classifications of drinkers ranging in how often and how much they drink. Social drinkers do not drink alone and only to enhance social events. Situational drinkers only drink when stressed and usually alone. Problem drinkers drink heavily but are able to respond to warnings and advice from friends. Binge drinkers drink way too much regularly, and that kind of drinking is becoming a big problem on college campuses. Finally, alcoholic drinkers who have no control over how much they drink and usually cannot manage their own lives. Alcohol has a huge negative impact on society. As HealthWatch states, 1.8 million deaths are caused every year from alcohol worldwide, with 75,000 deaths in America annually. Also, nearly 47% of homicides, 23% of suicides, and 40% of fatal car crashes are directly caused by alcohol abuse. People make the irresponsible decision to drink and drive and cause car accidents because they were unable to properly operate their vehicle. Binge drinking is popular among young adults, especially in college, and can lead to fatal alcohol poisoning. There are literally zero positive outcomes from being an alcoholic. Alcoholism causes many deaths, whether from an accident or health-related, such as cirrhosis of the liver, from drinking for a very long time. It's no secret that many college students drink at some point, so in order to keep your alcohol use in check, make sure that you are aware of the risks of becoming an alcoholic. Genetics is a factor, but doesn't necessarily guarantee that you will follow in your family's footsteps. Just be aware that you have a higher chance of becoming addicted to alcohol, so be careful when consuming it. Being a partier and drinking a large amount of alcohol on a fairly regular basis definitely sets you up to develop a problem. Keep partying to a safe minimum and never go above your limit. Never drink in order to deal with stress. That will only lead to a dependence on alcohol that you don't want, and it'll cause you to drink alone, which is never a good thing. If you keep these things in mind, you'll be able to make safer choices when choosing to drink. I'd like to also share a personal story with you about how alcoholism can affect your life in very negative ways. I have a family friend who used to be a very successful businessman, but he also had a drinking problem, but nobody knew about it, so he was what some people refer to as a functioning alcoholic. He used to be very successful in his business. I think he was vice president, but one day at a company Christmas party, he said some very choice words to his boss while he was drunk, and the very next day he was fired. And if that wasn't bad enough, he didn't stop drinking, and so he lost that job and tried getting other jobs, but nobody would hire him, especially after that happened. So his health took a hit, his finances took a hit, and his wife eventually left him. And so I hope that from hearing that story, you know that alcoholism can have very long-lasting effects. Although my family friend has stopped drinking, the choices that he made before when he did drink still affect him. He's still in financial difficulty, his health is starting to get worse, so just be aware that your partying now could have effects later on in your life. So, I hope that after listening to my presentation, you're more aware of what alcoholism is and what risks there are in becoming one. There are several classifications of drinkers, each more risky than the previous one. Genetics aren't the only risk factor in developing a drinking problem, so don't think that it can't happen to you. Make safe choices when choosing a drink, and it won't become a problem in your life. Thanks.